Leads for realtors. Not a numbers game, and you don't need as many as you think. Hi, I'm Ben with Team Home Hero here in Wichita, Kansas. If you would please like, comment, subscribe for more of this content. Get that out of the way. Also, I have a lot of other videos to go watch on top of this. If you see value from this, just keep consuming the content and checking out more where it can potentially help you. But the thing I'm going to get into, this is the long version of the shorter versions of the video I've been putting out about how I know a lot of realtors are into leads right now and online leads and lead generation. They think it's all about leads, leads, leads. That's somewhat true, but that's only part of the equation. And you hear constantly in sales, it's a numbers game, it's a numbers game, which really is just an excuse for not being good at what you do, is what a lot of it comes down to. And you really don't need as many leads as you think. You need quality leads, from Zillow, Realtor, Google, Bing, Facebook, and Instagram leads are cheaper, but they're more junkier. And a lot of that has to do with where they're coming from and why they're coming there. People don't go to Facebook and Instagram to buy houses. They might get interrupted and are curious and look at houses, but you're going to get low lead quality based on the source of where they're coming from. Google and Bing are the best lead source that's out there. They're 3 to 12 month leads. They cost the least, but you got to keep in mind they're a long-term cycle. So you have to have a CRM and all these other things connected to them. Zillow, Realtor.com leads are some of the most bottom of the funnel leads and the most quote unquote ready to go, but even some of them are longer term too. But here's what matters most importantly at the end of the day. You could have 600 leads, 1,000 leads coming into your system a month, but if you don't know how to conversate, communicate, service them well, it doesn't matter. And so that's really where I see the biggest breakdown usually is the agent or the ISA is not communicating and conversating well from the start to go through all these things. And there's 7 things I'm going to go over.
It's 10 o'clock.
Full disclosure, this comes from Bill Pipes and Agent Academy that we are currently in one of their training programs called Sales Velocity. It's a 12-week masterclass. If you join our team, join our organization, you get access to these types of programs. And I'm giving you an overview snapshot of it all. So hopefully this can help you in your business understand more things and hopefully get value from this as a give first thing from us to give you value. So without all that, I'm going to go ahead and get into it and share my screen because visuals help a lot more than just me talking because people believe and understand what they see, not necessarily what they hear. And so visuals is a big piece of this. But these are the 7 fundamental failures of communication and sales. And what Bill is saying on here is that a lot of times we fail in our level of preparation. We fail to establish authority and certainty. We fail to convey interest and enthusiasm. We fail to listen effectively, which that's a big one. We'll kind of get into how to do that well with all this. And a lot of what Bill says on this webinar too is that 80% of this is psychology, 20% is mechanics. We're going to give you a lot of mechanics here too. We'll also unpack the psychology of it. And ultimately at the end of the day, you could take this webinar, have all the knowledge, but if you don't go apply it, have coaching on it, accountability, feedback on it, it's kind of just knowledge. Knowledge without action doesn't really do a whole lot. But hopefully this will at least get you started and get you a better understanding of where the skills need to be improved on for communication. Because we are in a skill-based market right now as a realtor. And if you have the skills, you win. You don't, you don't. It's very black and white with that. But the rest of it is we fail to put our focus on the client instead of ourselves. We like to talk about ourselves, say how awesome we are. A lot of the things the client honestly doesn't care about. The only thing the client really cares about is, can you get me what I want? And can you do it the most convenient way, the most profitable way? And key word there, I said profitable, not cheapest, profitable with all that. So that's a key dynamic that's shifted in sales and real estate and all this is that it's not about you as the agent. It's about them and their personal situation, houses and all that. And we got to develop our skills to make sure we're delivering the service to people as well as possible. The last 2, we failed to connect with the client on a deep level and lacked versatility. And we failed to control our personal psychology. This is the part that's about us. And really it's about us because we want to make sure we're in our prime state to serve our people well. So that's the 7 fundamental failures. So obviously what we're going to look at is the 7 solutions that go with that too. But the first one that goes with this, these are all just screenshots from the webinar, the slide that we've been doing. The first one is developing certainty in dialogues. And there's a few key things in here. Dialogue, not monologue, not selling and telling, not talking at them. A lot of it has to do with key questions, quality questions. For example, when somebody signs up on our website and we saw they're looking at Hayesville homes, we don't just bombard them and hound them. We ask them like, hi, is this Bob? Yeah, this is Bob. Hi, Bob, this is Ben. And I was curious if you're looking at Hayesville homes just for fun or if you're looking into making a move. Oh, I'm just kind of looking for fun. That makes sense. What's got you looking for fun? Well, we're thinking about getting a bigger house, and this one right now just isn't really working for us. Oh, I'm curious, what is it about your current home that isn't working for you? So that gives you an idea of a dialogue. That's a conversation that's going on, not just me just selling you and telling you, like we're conversating at that point. And he initially told me just looking for fun, because that's what most people are going to put up as a reactionary defense response, just because it's nothing against you personal. It's just that they think they got to protect themselves and guard themselves from you. But as you stay certain in that situation, solid, you can hear how succinctly I delivered that. Why? Because I practiced it, I planned for it, and I have a process that I know how these conversations are going to go, and I'm going to lead them, which I'm getting ahead of myself. That's number 2, but I'm not going to get to that yet. But a lot of this has to do with developing certainty in your dialogues. So that has to do with, your opening conversation. But another area I see that agents really struggle with in developing certainty in their dialogue is when it comes to time to write a winning offer. Having a conversation around escalation clauses, buying a house as is with the home warranty, appraisal gaps, the market, where it's at, the interest rates. If you don't know your stuff really well and you can't deliver with certainty that this is a good plan, a good idea, and you know your stuff, people pick up on that more than ever. And really what they're looking from you as a sales agent is certainty. In a crazy, uncertain, complex situation, they want some level of certainty from you as an agent. So that's the number one, or the first one that we go through, is developing certainty and dialogue. Is one of the first communication skills we need to learn. The second one, I kind of got into it, establishing yourself as the authority. And this is where I was saying the quote, people want to be led. This is the biggest misnomer in sales, real estate, what have you. People want your guidance. They want your direction. In sales, we a lot of times think we're bothering people, annoying them, interrupting, but the truth is, like, they need our help. They want our help. They're just scared. They're unsure. They're uncertain of you. They're scared of you. As much as you're scared of them to make the call, they're scared of you even more. And so you want to make sure you use this authority with responsibility, but you do want to position yourself as the authority in knowing your stuff. And the way you do that is you study your national market trends, you study your local market trends, and you put out content like this. You regularly put out things that show that you're a leader in your industry. You're not just some schmuck who just got their license and is trying to make a bunch of money out of nowhere with everything. So you either got to establish yourself as authority, or this is the biggest one for joining a team. Most people, when you start a new career, you're not an authority. You can't be an authority when you just started out. Join the authority, join the team, learn from them, use their credibility, use their track record, learn a ton from there. I can tell you hands down, my best decision I ever made in real estate was to go join a team. I had to swallow my ego, swallow my pride, and go join a team. And my career really took off after that. But it came down to this concept of being an authority figure. I wasn't an authority figure. The team was. They had the track record, credibility. I learned a lot from there and became an authority from what I learned there. But I didn't start out as an authority. But you have to establish yourself as an authority, because in today's day and age, the consumer researches you for 6 to 8 weeks before they ever talk to you. And if you're not positioning yourself as an authority, you're toast. They won't even talk to you. They won't even give you a chance. They have no tolerance for the amateur in today's day and age. It's too big of a transaction. It's too big of a risk. Why would they risk talking to you or working with you? They don't perceive you as the expert. So that's where you got to regularly be positioning yourself and earning that title of authority, expert, master at this. And if you're not, go work with one. There's plenty of good agents, quality team leads that need help because they're good at what they do, but they're strapped for time. And this is where, like, my showing partners, new agents, work perfectly, because you get all the time and attention of a new agent, but then you get the experience, knowledge, and advice from someone like me who doesn't have necessarily all the time in the world like that agent does that can give you, but they have the knowledge and experience. You get the best of both worlds with that situation. But that's concept number 2. Number 3 is you want to create engagement with the energy. You can tell right now I'm enthusiastic. I'm engaged. I'm involved, but I'm not bottle rocket up my butt, just stupidly overly enthusiastic, like with no substance behind it. You can tell I care, like, because that's the biggest one that people are picking up on. I'm reading my notes here with this, is a lot of times it's not that you're not saying the right words or you're not doing this or you're not calling people. Like, it just sounds like you don't care. Like, and a lot of people legitimately don't. And it's like, that's probably the sales and marketing 101. Give a shit about people, care about them, ask about their personal situations. You know, what's got you looking into a house? What's that do for you personally? What's your life going to look like once you do have that house? Is there anything holding you back? What kind of hesitations, concerns do you have around buying a house? You can tell from my tone I care, because it's a low downswing tone, which is a caring tone, but it's also an authority tone. Because what Bill also goes over on this webinar is how 7% of this is the words you say, 38% is the tone, and 55% is your body language. You can see my hands are moving around. I'm speaking with an upfront chest, with my chest out, which projects my voice. And so all of this contributes to your energy. But if you have low energy, they're going to have low energy. If you have good energy, they are too. Now, high energy isn't being just over the top, crazy enthusiastic, motivated. I need to drink a bunch of caffeine. If anything, you probably need to drink less, so you're quit making it such an anxious, pressured situation, because they're going to feel uncomfortable when you're over the top with your energy. Energy is more just a state of being. I could be standing here calm, present, quiet, stable, but you could feel the energy that's coming from me that says, like, this guy's here, he's listening, he understands, he's an expert, he's serious about this, but he's light, he's playful, he's fun. Like, so all these things are energy to go with this. But that's number 3. Number 4, this one's super basic, but really easy to skip. And it's really easy to pick up on. Master conversational cadence by using a response pattern. That's a really fancy way of saying, repeat back to people what they said to you. So if somebody says like, oh, well, I'm looking to buy a house, but I'm not ready to move for another 9 months. It's like, okay, great. So you're not looking to move for another 9 months. That's probably a pretty good idea for your plan. I'm curious where your 9-month time frame came from. Like, well, I need to save up for down payment and my credit score is not quite where it's at. It's like, okay, tell me more about that. So then they're going to tell you more. Well, I need to pay off some credit cards and I only got about $3,000 in the bank. And I need to take care of some of those things. And I think by 9 months, I'll have that figured out. It's like, all right, that makes sense. Sounds like you're really thinking through this and making smart plans of everything. So it sounds like if you had your credit score figured out and your down payment figured out, like, you'd be looking to move and go ahead and go forward with this, wouldn't you? He's like, yeah, I probably would. Is there anything else that's holding you back from moving forward with any of this? It's like, well, I think I'm kind of scared of interest rates. The interest rates are getting really crazy, and everything's getting really high, and I don't know, this market's just so crazy. I'm just kind of unsure with everything that's going on. So we got saving up for down payment money. We got needing to work on credit. This market's crazy, so you're a little unsure there. It's like all that kind of, is all of that, am I catching that accurately, what you're saying? It's like, yeah, it is. It's like, well, hey, those are all legitimate, smart concerns to have with all that. And so I'm approving is what I'm doing right there. I'm not disagreeing with them. I'm not trying to argue with them, battle them, tell them they're wrong, tell them they're dumb. I'm using a response pattern to say it back to them and then approve of them. Because when you approve of somebody, guess what they start doing? They start liking you. And you want to do business with people you know, like, and trust. This is how you get people to like you. But that's number 4. For the sake of the context of this, I'm going to move on. But you kind of get the idea of the response pattern. Tactical empathy for connection. I love this one as a dude, because dudes usually are scared of empathy. They look at it as this wimpy, like, less than, not macho type of thing. But Chris Voss, who's an expert negotiator for the FBI, in his book, Never Split the Difference, talks about how empathy was his #1 skill that he used to be a badass negotiator. Usually don't think of empathy as being a badass, but empathy is one of the most badass, courageous things you can do, especially as a guy when you're like, oh, we don't talk about feelings. We don't talk about any of that stuff. All empathy is seeing something from someone else's point of view. Let me check my notes on this. And there's a few things that you can do to really establish empathy with somebody before you call them and also during the call. Ask yourself, what do I like about this person? What am I going to find that I like about this person? And focus in on that, key in on that, say that to them, verbalize it to them. You want to give first before you expect something else from someone else. The second one is you want to look at is, how are we similar? Because I guarantee you, if you dig enough, you find enough, we got something in common somewhere, whether where we grew up, the sports team we like, the food we like to eat, something like that. Because this is about connecting with people. You convert online leads well because you connect with people on a personal level. They come to you for houses, but then you talk to them about their personal side of things, so you can match a house to their personal side of things. But if you don't even know the person, how are we supposed to be able to establish that, connect with that? This game is about people. It's not about houses. We deal with houses in the real estate market, financial market, but it's about people and connecting with people. So it comes down to, how good are your people skills, your social skills at connecting with people? we got all this tech, all this marketing, and all these things that are moving us further away from dealing with people. But humans still want humans, especially with a big transaction like real estate. So your social skills, it's amplified if you have them or you don't, how much of an impact it has on your business. Because anything that can be done by a robot is being done by a robot. Anything that's outsourced to overseas is being outsourced overseas. The thing that you need to focus in on and do really well is the human side of things, your social skills, your tactical empathy, all these communication skills we're talking about. And the crazy thing is when you learn all this stuff and develop it, it's not just going to benefit your business life, it's going to benefit your personal life too. So tactical empathy for connection, gave you a couple ways to practice that. Number 6, develop versatility to create trust, respect, and rapport. This is the biggest one that I took away from this. I knew the trust piece, I knew the rapport piece. The respect piece is something I didn't quite take into consideration before, like I do now after learning this. So when I say respect, a big thing you want to do, especially when you call somebody or text them, respect their time, respect their attention, respect the fact that they are willing to talk with you, and appreciate that, verbalize it. And when you want them to respect you, you have to respect them first, and you have to start with respect. And the way you do that is by having a dialogue, a conversation that allows them to talk, that allows them to communicate. And you're open, you're comfortable, like you have pauses, you have space. It's okay to not just be constantly talking. Because I know right now I'm throwing a lot of information at you, but really these dialogues, these conversations go slow. You ask questions and you allow for space, and that establishes a level of respect for that other person to say, you're valid, you're important, you're worth listening to. You know, I see you, I understand you. And this might be difficult, might be hard, but I'm here to go guide and coach you through this very difficult process. But you do that by developing versatility to create trust, respect, and rapport, by dealing with personality types and some other things like that. But respect was the biggest one. Respect equals trust and rapport. Respect their time, respect their attention, get straight to the point, be simple, direct. You know, the other thing is the less you say, the better, because it's less they have to process with the brain. It's less effort they have to apply, less work. As we've seen with Amazon, Uber, Netflix, people want things that are more convenient and easier. They want this complex process to make it easy. You as the salesperson agent need to not make it so hard. And a lot of times that's what happens. Because we have the best of intentions, but we're doing too much. We're trying too hard. We need to make it simple. And the last one, this one is more personal, but establishing a routine to control your state of being. Because you know how it is when you're not in the right mood, not the right energy, and you try to make a phone call or negotiate a deal, and you're like, man, that went terrible. And it has to do with because you weren't keeping yourself in a prime state of operation for performance. And the way that you make sure you stay in a prime state of performance is through establishing a routine. You know, all these things that I used to rebel against in school and working for someone else, now I'm willingly choosing to follow them in my own business because I see the benefit of them. Not because like someone is being like, you have to do this because I said so and that's it. I see the benefit of them now, and I'm putting routine, structure, discipline on myself to get the reward, the benefit that I want. And a lot of that has to do with your state of being. When are you at your best to do your most dollar-producing activities? That's why we prospect first thing in the morning, negotiate deals, do agent contracts immediately after that, and then we do all of our other things. Just because a buyer or someone is screaming at you in the middle of your prospecting time, it's not the best time to be doing those things. And it's because your state of being for handling that is not where your prime, most dollar-producing activity is, which is prospecting, generating business. I'm not going to say leads because generating leads is super easy, and it's a big misunderstood misnomer of a buzzword to put in this. Lead gen, lead gen, lead gen. Like leads are easy. It's converting the leads, communicating. Like these are people. They're not leads. Communicate with people. Work on your communication skills. And a lot of that has to do with how well you take care of yourself. If you're not in a place to serve and help people because you're not taking care of yourself and you're abandoning yourself, you're abusing yourself, you're not having enough self-care, you're not any good to anyone. So don't be like killing yourself, draining yourself, thinking that that's actually a service to your people. It's a disservice because you're not showing up as your best self for them. And that's really what it comes down to when you want to bring your best energy out, is you got to be in the right state of being. Establishing a routine for like your nutrition, your sleep, your meal prep, that's nutrition, same thing. And I'm not saying you got to be a fitness nut. I'm just saying you got to make sure you take care of yourself so you can perform well in your job, in your role. And that really shines through in real estate and sales and marketing, is how well you take care of yourself or not. Your other job, you could get away with being lazy, complacent, checking in, checking out 8 to 5. Real estate, sales, you cannot. This is one of the most high-performing, high-level situations you can get paid like a doctor, lawyer, athlete, but are your habits, routines, disciplines, behaviors matching what they do to earn their income? Because you can, but you have to follow a lot of the same things that they do with their discipline, behavior, routines, processes, procedures, things like that. So anyway, that is the 7 pillars of communication skills, sales skills on everything. And, you know, one of the best things about communication and skills, or communication sales skills, is they don't look like sales skills at all. Some of the best salespeople don't look like salespeople at all. They look like a husband, a mother, a father, an uncle. They look like a teacher. They look like a politician. They look like, that may not be the best example, they look like a preacher. They look like all these people you don't typically think of sales, but it all applies in sales with everything. You know, your coach in high school or grade school, whatever it was, he was a salesperson. You know, but we typically don't think of these skills as sales skills because they're so good they don't even feel like sales. You know, I know when you think of sales, you think of slimy, sleazy, pushy, all that, but it's really not. Sales is one of the most selfless, awesome professions there is. When you really study it like this, take it for what it is, get good at it. People love you, appreciate it, they need it. And really, I think that's what's really shining through right now in real estate is who's working on their skills to get really good at what they're doing and who's just trying to take advantage of people. Is the honest truth. So hopefully you got some value out of this from the 7 key pillars of sales and communication skills. If you like this content, please like, comment, subscribe. Also, go check out some more of my videos I got on here. Got a lot of good videos on here, both around Wichita, around real estate, being a good realtor. You know, check out what we got going on here while you're watching. And I am in Wichita, Kansas area. So if you ever need to buy or sell real estate, my website link should be down below. And also, if you're looking to be an agent, join either my team or my network, you can always reach out to me that way too, and we'll go from there. But appreciate watching. Hopefully you gained some value from this, and we'll catch you next time. See ya.